Right now at 5, the Portage Police Department responds what they're saying after one of their officers is accused of child abuse. And college students are getting ready to move back to campus, the new local class helping to relieve tenant stress. Plus, there is an upgrade coming to UW Health's MyChart, how AI is making it easier for patients to learn about their health. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. Eric is off tonight. There is a cold front on the way this weekend and maybe a little chance for rain later tonight. Let's get a check on the weekend forecast. Alex Harrington is watching the weather. It is perfect for Friday night football, Alex.
Oh, it is in that cold front. I got even better news here, Susan. That cold front, not a lot of rain with it, and I have a wide view here of the state of Wisconsin. That cold front right now stretches from, let's say, Ryland or off towards the south and west, just south and east of Minneapolis. It's going to make its way towards the south and towards the east throughout the evening hours. We'll zoom on just a little bit closer here with Future Track, and as we go towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock, maybe an isolated shower storm north of the Dells, but the line is likely going to be continuing to weaken as it presses off towards the south and towards the east. And we're not expecting widespread showers and thunderstorms. We're not expecting widespread severe weather either with this front coming through over the course of the next couple of hours. And again, this is all part of the 3 things you need to get out of the forecast. The 3 are that isolated rain chance tonight, and then the sunny stuff coming in this weekend with comfy temperatures. And then behind the cold front, we're going to have cold temperatures. How cold will we go? I'll let you know when you see me next in a couple minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Now to a story we've been following all week. The Portage Police Department is responding to allegations that one of its officers abused his 6-month-old son. Cameron Coronado is charged with child abuse and disorderly conduct with a domestic abuse modifier. Our Ellie La Liberté breaks down new details from a police press conference today.
Today we learned Cameron Coronado is no longer employed by the Portage Police Department. Now, the chief of police did not take questions from reporters, but emphasized the department worked quickly and according to protocol. According to a criminal complaint, Coronado shoved a pacifier down his son's throat so hard that it caused bleeding in the baby's brain.
My response to this? I'm truly speechless.
Police Chief Keith Klafke says as soon as he learned about the allegations, he took action.
Under my direction, an outside agency was contacted to handle the investigation. I then contacted the business agent from the police union to advise them also of this incident. The officer was immediately placed on administrative leave.
Klafke also says the move to place Coronado on paid administrative leave is required by law. On Wednesday, a Sauk County judge set Coronado's cash bond at $10,000 and ordered him to have no contact with his wife or kids. His preliminary hearing is set for September 3rd. Reporting in Portage, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Online records also show that Coronado posted bail and is no longer in the Sauk County Jail. And an important reminder, if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, there are resources available. You can call the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services 24/7 helpline. And if you're not comfortable calling, you can text them at the number on the bottom of your screen. It's also on Channel 3000 if you don't have time to write that down. A new candidate has entered the race for governor. Ryan Sternad is a beer vendor at American Family Field. He has also been politically active in unions. He sat down with us on this week's For the Record to talk about his run for office.
I will say that I focus on the working in the middle class, and my background goes back to Milwaukee, with me being a long-time in-seat alcohol vendor at American Family Field where the Brewers play. I've been involved heavily with the union there.
The only other major Democratic candidate in the race right now is Wisconsin's Lieutenant Governor, Sarah Rodriguez. Wisconsin Republicans are resuming work on a bill to eliminate the state's tax on tips. The legislation was introduced in February but slowed as lawmakers waited for Congress to pass President Trump's budget bill. Now state lawmakers are reworking the bill to mirror the federal legislation. Currently, it would create a $25,000 state income tax deduction on tips. As college students get ready to head back to campus or to move into new apartments, there is a program designed to help people have a positive renting experience. Our Kyle Pozorski shows you how you can take part in Rent Smart.
As college students move into new apartments this fall, there's a program for Wisconsinites designed to help make renting a breeze. Rent Smart is a free course offered by the University of Wisconsin Extension, focusing on how to better communicate with landlords, budget, and know your tenant rights. It's been around for decades, but the program's co-chair Amanda Kosman says the rental space has become an increasingly difficult market to navigate, arguing that obtaining the certificate can be attractive to landlords.
Some landlords really do value this, and so if there are very similar tenants, they'll take somebody who has a Rent Smart certificate over somebody who doesn't, because they know they have that 6 hours of education behind them and that they know what they're doing.
The course is being offered online and for free each month throughout the end of the year. In Madison, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Kyle. If you're interested in signing up for the 6-module course scheduled for September, just go online and search UW Rent Smart. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services has identified 5 new cases of measles in Oconto County near Green Bay. That raises the total number of cases in the county to 14. An ongoing investigation indicates measles is spreading locally. Those who are unvaccinated or don't know their vaccination status are most at risk. Measles symptoms include high fever, a cough, and tiny white spots on the inside of the mouth. UW Health is using artificial intelligence to improve MyChart users' experiences. Emmy is a new always-on chatbot that will soon be available in MyChart. Patients can ask it to interpret lab results, work on scheduling an appointment with a provider, and even ask it more complex medical questions based on notes that you get from your doctor. Software developers say 40% of Americans are using chatbots to answer questions about their health, and this is just a more personalized medical experience.
But in that context, you are asking an entirely open AI assistant, right? It doesn't have the context of who you are as a patient, your medical history, past diagnoses you've had, medications that you're taking. And so now with Emmy, you can ask those questions and have that be grounded in you as a patient to get better answers.
So what do patients think after they talk to Emmy? Well, they tell our Arman Rahman all about it tonight at 6. It's part of how AI is changing the medical field, but it can be done on humans' terms. That's tonight at 6. It's back to school time for many students, which can bring a lot of mental stress. Psychiatrist and author of the national best-selling book, High Functioning, uses the acronym READY to help parents prepare their kids. R stands for routine, E stands for expectations, A stands for attention, D is for dialogue, and Y is for you. She also has advice for parents whose kids are being bullied.
And in these cases, you really want to validate what the child is going through. You don't want to say, oh, it's not that bad, or this is typical, because the reality of it is that bullying is way more intense these days.
And she says bullying is more intense because it can happen in person, but also online. And she advises parents to know their school's anti-bullying policy so they can be proactive, not reactive. The Dane County Humane Society is offering extended hours and some discounts this weekend as its final push to clear its shelter's adoption campaign. The shelter will be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow with extra staff and volunteers. Some of their deals include $75 off adoption fees for dogs, cats for $10 and kittens for $75. 50% off adoption fees for a lot of other critters at the shelter, and $100 or less for the Lonely Hearts Club dogs and cats. Those are the ones that have been at the shelter longer than the other pets. Bring a leash and a carrier and other transport supplies if you're interested in adopting. And in case you missed it, WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin have completed a major upgrade to our over-the-air broadcasting system. So if you watch us with an over-the-air antenna and you're having problems getting our signal, you'll need to rescan your television. It's very easy to do. Open your TV's menu, select Settings, and then choose Channel Scan or Auto Tune. We have all of these instructions posted at channel3000.com. And these improvements to the signal will only be noticed if you watch us over the air. If you watch us on cable, satellite, or streaming, you don't need to do anything to your television at all. Straight ahead tonight at 5, the FBI raids the home of a former national security advisor. And the Federal Reserve signals some good news for interest rates, what Jerome Powell is saying about possibly cutting them when we come back. The Green Bay Packers will finish the preseason this weekend at Lambeau Field. Who to keep an eye out for during the game when we come back. And on Wall Street today, the markets rebound to end the work week. The Dow closed up 846 points. The Nasdaq rose 396, and the S&P was up 90.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
FBI agents carried out a raid on the home of a former national security advisor, John Bolton, who has been highly critical of President Trump. FBI agents were also seen coming out of his Washington, D.C. office. CBS News has learned the warrants are related to a search for classified material. President Trump fired Bolton in 2019. Wall Street, as we just showed you, soared this morning following a speech from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, where he signaled a possible interest rate cut. Powell, whose term as chair expires next May, has faced intense pressure from the president to lower interest rates. He spoke today about continued economic uncertainty over the administration's immigration and tariff policies.
This year, the economy has faced new challenges. Significantly higher tariffs across our trading partners are remaking the global trading system. Tighter immigration policy has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor force growth.
President Trump backed off previous threats to fire Powell, but is now targeting another Fed board member. Lisa Cook was appointed to the Fed's Board of Governors by former President Biden. This week, a Trump administration official accused her of mortgage fraud and called for an investigation. Many across Wisconsin are still working to dry out after the state was inundated with flooding a few weeks ago. The state's emergency management agency is working with FEMA to assess the damage. They'll piece together a report that they'll send to the Trump administration to see if Wisconsin is eligible for a presidential disaster declaration. That would unlock new resources that Wisconsin would be able to tap into.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road to recovery. Unfortunately, there is a lot of cleanup to do. We're really encouraging folks to document the damage, make repairs, do the cleanup, keep receipts, things like mold remediation, that's stuff we don't want to wait on.
And you can see more from this interview this Sunday at 10:30 with our Will Keneally on For the Record right here on News 3 Now. Well, chilly weather is around the corner for the Madison region. And Alex, we're going to get a nice prolonged dry stretch, it looks like.
And you'll want to have some chili, like some actual chili, as in soup, by the time we get to Sunday here, with a 10-degree drop from Saturday to Sunday, 75 Saturday, 68 on Sunday. And that 68 on Sunday is our normal high temperature for the end of September. I think I've been saying that each day this week as I get excited myself personally about how nice the weather's going to be. But we got to transition from our temperatures up near 80 today down to that 67 by Monday and 69 as we go into Tuesday. And with that's going to be a cold front. And even through the next 10 days here, average high is right around 80. So we have no stretch of weather right now in our next 10 days that's going to be above normal, and that's part of the 3 things you need to know here. That isolated rain chance tonight, then we transition to the sunny and the comfy stuff as we head into this weekend, and just cool temperatures as we go out into early next week. But that cold front, we'll track it here using Future Track. It's kind of hard to see. It's rather uneventful. 10 o'clock tonight, stretching from the Dells over towards the Viroqua area. As we move towards the east here, as the front rather moves towards the east, right around midnight, that front trying to produce a shower or an isolated thunderstorm, but it's really struggling. Even as we head towards 3 o'clock in the morning, we can't rule out that shower or rumble of thunder, but we're not expecting widespread severe storms. We're not expecting widespread thunderstorms at all tonight, just a couple isolated showers and storms. And then the northwesterly breezes will start to come in a little bit later on Saturday. Saturday morning, though, too, just like Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, this morning, little patchy fog behind that cold front, but not quite as dense as what we've been experiencing over the course of the past couple of mornings. So a little bit of patchy fog if you're going to maybe be heading to the farmer's market that you'll have to contend with, but I'm not expecting it to be quite as dense as it has been the past couple of mornings. Still a touch on the muggy side. It's a little warm, in my opinion, here in the studio right now, but not quite. It's going to be much nicer, certainly, as we go from tonight going on into Saturday. But just that touch of mugginess is what I was trying to get out of my words there, and I finally found them. 65 for a low in Madison, 64 in Lone Rock, and 64 in Janesville. Remember, these are the lows, and then that's going to be our high temperatures by the time we get to the end of the upcoming weekend. We'll do 72 to 75 for highs across the area on Saturday, with that wind picking up a little bit as we go into the afternoon, and will be a refreshing breeze with good air quality. And look at this 10-day forecast. It's really, in my opinion, quite unbelievable from left to right. Beautiful days, a lot of sun, the 60s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Maybe a little bit of rain Wednesday and Thursday, but that's just a tiny chance. And then we've got more sunny conditions after that. One thing to point out, though, ragweed. That's high out there right now. So if you are susceptible to that, that's something you might want to certainly contend to. And we're in that ragweed season going into the fall. And last photo here. Look at this sunrise near Measles coming up at this farm. Thanks, Amory, for sending us that photo. And you scan that QR code, we'll get your photos on air, too. To celebrate the nice stuff, we'll have plenty of sun photos coming in, Susan, I think, over the next couple of days.
Beautiful. All right, Alex, thank you. And still to come at 5, the Packers will go against the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow. Who to look out for on the green and gold defense.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, the Packers face off against the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow for the finale to the preseason. And there are several players that fans will want to keep an eye on. News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more.
The Packers' final preseason game is here tomorrow at 3 o'clock as they'll take on the Seattle Seahawks, the same ones they were fighting with on Thursday at the joint practice at Lambeau Field. At 4, I gave you 3 offensive players to keep an eye on in this game. Now, at 5, I will give you 3 defensive players to keep an eye on. First, we start at linebacker number 28, Isaiah Simmons. Former high first-round pick in 2020, has bounced around a bit, has shown some special teams ability, but has struggled in his 2 games on defense. He is learning a new position. We will see if the Packers keep him based on potential. He can certainly help his chances by playing well in this game. Next, on the defensive line, number 99, Nazir Stackhouse, who battles narcolepsy, one of the more remarkable stories of players coming through this camp. He plays right next to one of his other teammates who also went to Georgia and lined up next to him in college there, Warren Brinson. Warren Brinson likely to make the team. He is a draft pick, but Nazir Stackhouse can help his stock with another strong performance. He's been pretty good so far. And finally, at cornerback number 34, Kalen King. He was a 7th-round pick a year ago, spent the entire year on the practice squad. He has made a very clear bid at a very murky position for a roster spot. He needs to sustain that to solidify his spot. So those are our 3 defensive players to keep an eye on in this game. Again, this is it. After this, we've got final cuts on Tuesday, and then we will find out what the 2025 Green Bay Packers roster will look like, at least for the September 7th opener against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. That's it from here. Back to you in the studio.
Very exciting. Thank you, Jason. And again, the Packers take on the Seahawks at Lambeau Field. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. And a heads up, Badger fans, ahead of the first game next Thursday, News 3 Now has a special show with everything you need to know. The 30-minute special, Wisconsin Game Day, will air immediately following News 3 Now at 6. Our 6 and 10 anchor Eric Franke and sports director Andrew Banstra will host. We'll have a preview of their coverage right here on News 3 Now before the Badgers take on Miami of Ohio. And Alex is back with a final check of our weekend forecast. Stay with us.
There's a new trend you may have noticed this summer. People who bring their living room to the beach. And how many books have you read in your lifetime? Probably not as many as the man you'll meet tonight on the road. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And then coming up tonight at 6, we'll have continuing coverage as Portage police address the community after a former officer is arrested for child abuse allegations. Finally, tonight at 5, there's a new discovery in the world of dinosaurs. Officials at the Natural History Museum in London say this new species had a sail-like structure all the way down its back. Scientists don't know why the dino had such an exaggerated feature, but say it might have been beneficial in finding mates. The specimen was found roughly 40 years ago, but was originally thought to be part of a different species. Researchers named it in honor of legendary British sailor Ellen MacArthur. That's very cool.
That's how you get your history at 5.
Yeah. If you're heading out to football tonight, great night.
Beautiful night tonight.
Yeah.
Really beautiful all weekend. We got this cold front, though, coming through.
It's coming.
It's coming with that cold front. We'll have colder temperatures, obviously. That's why we call it a cold front. Just a few showers out ahead of it, maybe a rumble of thunder. I don't think it's going to be a significant impact in southern Wisconsin. Notice how few and far between those showers are, and they dwindle as we get towards 10, 11 o'clock. So not expecting widespread storms, not expecting widespread severe weather or any severe weather for that matter. I am expecting widespread beautiful temperatures for the next 10 days, even 60s early next week. 40s at night.
Oh, what a gift after
Yes.
what we've been through.
I know.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you back here for News 3 Now at 6.